Shut up, Zelda. What's going on, Beers of War Nation? It is I, Sir Bigness. I don't know if I can call it a nation yet. It's only like 93 of y'all subscribed to the channel. So I don't know if I can call it a nation yet. What's up, Beers of War tribe? But it is me, Sir Bigness. I'm not in the bar, as you can see behind me. I'm actually in my kitchen, and I'm getting ready to do something that I really, really love doing, which is cooking for a group. My wonderful, spectacular, amazing stepson is about to have his first child with his glorious, spectacular, wonderful, stupendous wife. And we are over the moon. They asked me to, us, because my wife is going to cook some stuff too. But they asked us to kind of help cook for the baby shower, which we are more than excited to do. So I'm going to take y'all along on the journey and let y'all see a little bit of what it is we're going to do. I'm excited because we're going to do 4 briskets and some pulled pork. We've got a couple of pork butts that we're going to do. So I want you two all to join in and stick around. So let's start here. You see there's 1 pork butt. There is the second pork butt. Do not ignore my trash can. It's full. I know I need to empty it. These are pork butts. These are actually bone-in pork butts. We got them from Sam's. Like I said, we're just balling on a budget over here. We'll go to Costco or H-E-B. Unfortunately, in my part of Texas, we don't have an H-E-B. But sooner or later, we'll get around to Costco and we'll cook something extra super fancy for y'all. But I'm going to get these seasoned up real quick. And for the seasoning, let me not knock anything over. For the seasoning, we're going to combine a few things. This is Sweet Cheeks by Chud's Barbecue. Part of my barbecue love has been fueled by the man on the cover here, Bradley Robinson at Chud's Barbecue. His rubs are great. They're usually very even, they season very well, they coat very well. The flavor is spectacular. And if you get a chance, support both his products and his channel. And also from Fire and Smoke Society, we're going to hit it with a little hot for Peacher. Which if you're in a certain age bracket, that kind of hits you funny. A little bit of a pun from the Van Halen song. And on top of that, we're going to add a little bit of smoked paprika. This is hot smoked paprika. I would have preferred to use sweet, but I was out of sweet. But the smoked paprika, specifically like the higher end brands, really adds a lot of smoke flavor to what it is you're cooking. I'm going to take all these together and put them here in this mason jar. That's going to be our seasoning. I'm going to blend them up real quick. If it needs salt, I'll probably add some chicken bouillon. I don't like using salt in my barbecue rubs, just because I feel like if you add bouillon, you can add a good amount of flavor to it without necessarily the punch of salt. I mean, why add just bland salt when you can add salt with beef or chicken flavor added to it? So I'll go ahead and get this mixed up. I'll get these opened over here and we'll see where we go. Okay guys, so this is what it looks like when it's done. I have mixed my spices up. And in the process of mixing up my spices, the hot for Peacher and the Chud rub are also very, very sweet. Which is great with pork because pork is naturally a sweet meat. So I need pause. So I went ahead and I added some Kinder's caramelized onion butter. This stuff is great. This stuff is great, and it's great for more than just barbecue applications. This is great just on some like grilled chicken tenders. Well, that would be barbecue technically. But like just some lunch meat on a sandwich mixed in with your mayonnaise or your mustard. Great stuff. Told you if I needed salt, I would go with chicken bouillon. I've added chicken bouillon. I didn't want to use beef because beef is a little too powerful a flavor to throw in with this pork. I didn't want that to overpower the flavor of the protein. And then some Bodacious barbecue spice. This is near and dear to my heart. This is Bodacious barbecue that the franchise has started in my hometown. And it's a kind of a combo rub. It's in between sweet and savory. It does have some sugar in it, but it does have that heavy dose of salt, which is why I put it in with our little mix here. I'm gonna go ahead and get these pork butts cut open and get them seasoned and show you what they look like once they're done. So as you can see, these are beautifully mahogany covered in our rub combination. God, that color's pretty, man. I ain't even put any smoke on it yet. So we're gonna take these out here. Pulled pork, which is what this eventual destination is. And you see my gloves? By the way, these are a cheat code right here. These are like $10 on Amazon, or if you have a food supply store in your hometown. Unfortunately, we don't. These are a literal cheat code. When you're manipulating your proteins, because I did not want to say touching your meat. Pause. When you're manipulating your proteins, you're giving them the rub or whatever, and you're seasoning them. It doesn't get all in between your fingers. It doesn't get all sticky. Really makes the cooking job a whole lot easier. And you get 100 of these. I got 100 of these black extra large, just like me, gloves for like $10. I keep, when I get down to one box, I order 2 more. That's not because that's how often I cook, but I mean, even when you're not using barbecue applications, even when you're doing regular stuff in the kitchen, chopping onions and stuff like that, you don't want onions on your hands. You don't want garlic on your hands. These are a game changer. But I digress. We're going to go out here and we're going to put these on the smoker. I'm going to let them rest for a little bit. Let the salt and everything else kind of work its way down into the meat. I'm going to go put them out on the smoker at like 200 degrees because I am going to barbecue these nice and slow. I am gonna cook these nice and slow. So baby, tell me what you're gonna barbecue for me. Yeah. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and let these kind of sweat. Let a little bit of that meat get in, let a little bit of that salt penetrate and get in there real good. And then we're gonna stash these out there on the smoker. But in the meantime, in between time, we got 4 briskets to season up. So stick around, and I will show you how I get those done. So I'm back. We've got the pork butts over here seasoned, waiting and letting them rest and letting the salt absorb. We've got 2 of our 4 briskets that we're gonna trim up. But first, I thought while I was getting all this ready and getting ready to film some more, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give them this cheat code. Y'all want another cheat code? You do? You sure? Okay, here we go. This obviously is 2 layers of aluminum foil. And this will serve as a quasi cutting board that you can just throw away when you're done. And all I did was take a little bit of water, scatter it across the countertop right through here, laid 1 layer of foil down, scattered some more water over top of that first layer, and then laid a second layer down. And what that's going to do, that's going to create a cutting board that is eminently disposable. You can get rid of it. If you cut a hole through it and it gets to your cutting board, you just pick it up. It's just another way to kind of keep stuff clean and keep stuff organized in the kitchen. But I'm gonna go ahead and crack this bad boy open, and I'm also gonna talk a bit about our seasoning. This is my homemade personal beef rub, and you'll kind of see where it got its start. Uncle Chris's gourmet seasoning, and I wrote moo over it, but I've barbecued enough to where the moo got scratched out. And what's in said moo? Smoked paprika. Again, I told y'all I don't like using salt in my barbecue rub, so I use beef bouillon, smoked paprika, 16 mesh black pepper, the thick 16 mesh black pepper that you can buy at barbecue shops. You can buy it on Amazon. But occasionally I'll take mine. I don't know if I've done it with this batch, but I'll actually use a cocktail smoker and smoke the black pepper. Something about black pepper, I don't know what the chemical reaction is. I am not Alton Brown. God bless you, Alton Brown, if you happen to see this. I am a fan. But if you do happen to come across a cocktail smoker, just put it in a Ziploc bag or zip top bag, throw some smoke in it, close the bag up, let it sit, do it again. That's also a great tip for cheeses, if you're going to make cheese on a sandwich, something like that, or some lunch meat. You can just throw that in a zip top bag or Ziploc bag or whatever, throw some smoke on it with a cocktail smoker, and it gives you additional uses when you're not consuming alcohol. I also put some of the caramelized onion seasoning into it, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of onion, and granulated garlic and granulated onion, and that's how I came up with this. And from the get-go, when you open this, it's going to smell and taste smoky. Now, when we couple that with this big old piece of meat here, this big, beautiful brisket that we got here, we're going to come up with something that's absolutely delicious. So I'm going to crack these open and I'm going to get them all seasoned. I'm probably, because I am a one-man operation here and don't have my camera stands and all that stuff set up, I would show you how I like to trim this, but I may do that. I'll show you what I'm going to trim and then I'll show it to you after I've trimmed it up. So stick around for that. Y'all caught me mid-trim. So anyway, we got this out of here. Usually the first thing I look for when I trim a brisket is this big chunk of very, very hard fat. This is called the decal fat. And this is not going to render. You could probably put this in a pot over a fire for 2 days and you probably wouldn't get any sort of anything tender out of this. This is just solid, hard fat. On the other side here, let me get the knife out. On the other side, this got kind of scored right here. I'm not cutting this to do a competition. I'm cutting this to eat, so I want to maximize the amount of edible meat that we get out of this. This does not have what they call a great big mohawk on it, which is great. So that's less that I have to cut down from like right here, because this is where usually your mohawk is. So this trim is going to be probably just a big chunk of this decal fat here. See, I already got some of it out. Just a big chunk of this decal fat, maybe trim this down a little bit. I don't like cutting, because they'll tell you, like barbecue guys will tell you, cut down to 1/4 inch of fat on this. When you get down to this end of the brisket, this stuff burns up so fast. I like leaving it alone altogether unless there's like some really thick, chunky fat on it. I like to just leave that alone because that's what's going to render and make your brisket moist, is when that fat starts to render, whether it be this intramuscular fat down here or the fat you see across the brisket. Once that stuff starts to render and starts to cook down, that's what's going to penetrate your meat and make it moist. So I'm going to get started on that, and when it's trimmed up, I'll season it and then come back and we'll take a look at it. Okay, we got the first one of these done, and I've started on the second, but this one has got apparently Mr. Magoo was trimming briskets yesterday, because this one's got a big yoink in it too, and a big yoink right, hey, pause. This has got a big yoink in it too. So what I'm actually going to do with this, because it is pretty significant, I'm going to go ahead and zip this thing off and actually cook this alongside the other ones once I get them on. This probably won't take nearly as long to cook. This might be a 4 or 5 hour cook, where these are probably going to take upwards of 12 hours to do. But another one of the reasons why I'm being kind of, I guess you could say lenient with the trim, I'm not really taking a lot off these briskets. These were $5.29 a pound. $5.29 a pound. When I first started cooking briskets, just at home for, on a gas smoker with wood chips in a full pouch, briskets were like 99 cents a pound. So when you go to your barbecue restaurants, I said all that to say this. I mean, I'm cooking this to eat, so I want to make sure that we get as much edible food out of these as we can. So I'm not going to trim them real heavy. But when you go to your local barbecue restaurant and they tell you that brisket is $26, $27 a pound, don't flip out, because they're not getting these briskets. Like these briskets we're getting here, they're $5.29 a pound. More than likely, if you go to a high-end restaurant, they're getting prime brisket. That some of them may even be getting Wagyu, and I imagine those are probably going $8, $9 a pound. And then you also have to pay for the 13, 14 hours that these people have to pay, these pitmasters have to spend tending to that fire, tending to that brisket, making sure it's wrapped, going through all the procedures involved to make sure that they turn out a good product for you to eat. It's a tough time for everybody. Everybody's really, fighting whatever this is that's going on economically. I'm not trying to turn this into a politics thing. But go easy on your pit masters, because believe me, if they could turn a profit and sell their briskets for $1.50 a pound, they would, because once you get to that level of cooking, what you want is you want people eating and enjoying your food. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to get off my soapbox in my sermon. But this is the next brisket again, and I'll zip this off and I'll get these seasoned up. It's pretty much going to be the second verse. It's going to be the same as the first, and so will the third and the fourth. And then I'll get them out here on the smoker. My dog says hello. And we'll see what it goes. See how it goes from there. All right, y'all. We are back, and it was my full intention to like show y'all the briskets after I got them all seasoned. But my adult children came home. Two daughters, 27 and 24. So yeah. So my blood pressure was in scientific notation while I listened to them argue about fingernail polish or whatever. But here's how I did this. On the small pit, I got a pan with some water down here, and I've got my pork butts up on the top rack, fat side up. And right now, this is something I wish they had on the other pit bosses. I don't know, maybe they do have it on the other ones, the newer one. I haven't looked, but it's got a smoke setting, and that's what I've got this on now. It's 165, and it's just smoking away. I've got a chuck full of pellets. We're ready to rock and roll. This is going to be a long cook. I put the butts on first because those usually take longer to cook. Now on the briskets, I've got these smoky pecan shell pellets. You can get these on Amazon or direct from manufacturer. If you get them direct from manufacturer, you're probably going to get them about $1 or $2 cheaper. Takes about a week to get them, so if you're planning a big cook, plan in advance, go ahead and order your pellets a good bit ahead of time. I think once my stepson asked about me doing this cook, I went ahead and ordered the pellets so that they'd be here in time for us to go ahead and do this cook. Now, the big pit, I've got rolling at 200, and I've got smoking pecan pellets in there. Look at the color on that. Just the color on the pellets. It is a beautiful, like, mahogany red color. I'm using the word mahogany a lot. And inside here, we have 4 briskets. I've got the thick sides pointed toward the outside of the smoker on each one of these. And it actually worked out in my favor that one of those briskets had been kind of scalped, because I was able to cut it down, maybe move the other piece down here and cook it separately along with the others. And we're just gonna let these roll. It's gonna be a minute or two before these are done. It's gonna be a little while. It's about 4:30 here. The butts went on at 4. The briskets were all on by 4:30. I'm looking to temp these probably around 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock tonight. It's Friday, so I get to stay up. I get to get behind the bar, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be eating some delicious barbecue. So just hang out here, and I'll get back on with y'all when I get ready to temp these here, probably 9, 10 o'clock area. Shut up, Zelda. I know I promised that I would show y'all like details of the cook as I was going through this, but yeah. I put this brisket on at like 4 p.m., 4:45 p.m., 4:30 p.m. It came off about 6 in the morning. It did some time in the oven under low temperatures. House was quiet, so I didn't want to wake anybody up. But yeah, the results are this, and this, and this. Wow. And when I tell you the flavor is ridiculous, it is ridiculous. Part of that's the smoking pecan pellets, part of that's the rub, but good googity moogity. I didn't even show y'all the pulled pork. The pulled pork, the bone just walked out on its own. So we're going to get this all wrapped up, and we're going to take it to the baby shower. And I want to thank y'all for watching this on the Beers of War YouTube channel. If you have not, that's Zelda, by the way, is just making all the dadgum noise. If you have not subscribed to the Beers of War channel, please do so. And until then, until the next time, it is I, Sir Bigness, dead dog tired, and about to eat some of this brisket, and I'll probably get a bad case of the itis. If you don't know what the itis is, look it up in the Urban Dictionary. but from headquarters, from the kitchen of headquarters. If you drink, you drink with me.